Hey guys, it's Kori. Dr. Kori here at the Diet Doc, and I was just writing a segment of our upcoming book and had received a few emails from some of my coaching clients about self-sabotage and wanted to pop in real fast and just kind of give you a little bit of a different take on that topic because I think it's BS. I've said this before, but I want to reiterate why I think self-sabotage is not what everyone makes it out to be. So I hear a lot of people talking about like squash your demons and the devil inside of you. And honestly, I think we're a lot more than that, guys. I don't think we have demons inside of us, and I don't believe that. I know we talk about like the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other, but it's a metaphor. We don't have the desire to hurt ourselves and to squash ourselves and to put ourselves down and to drag ourselves through the muck and to make what we want to achieve more difficult. We don't want to do that. Our highest selves do not want to do that. So when we look at what we call self-sabotage, we need to kind of understand why the behavior that we're defining as self-sabotage is happening. And if we get underneath the behavior a little bit, what we see is that it's being guided by beliefs, okay, about perhaps what we're not capable of, who we are as people, as not good enough, not smart enough, not beautiful enough, not competent enough, not skilled enough, not cut out for whatever. And those beliefs are often based on messages from people, either projected overtly, so explicitly put into words and put out into the environment, and you took them in. Typically as a child, you took them in and you perceived them a certain way, okay? And now you have a perception of the world, you have a perception of yourself, and you have a perception of others based on those messages that either came out explicitly or from things that were not said or were not done. If your caregivers, for example, didn't show you and weren't demonstrative of their love through touch, okay, you perceive something from that, especially if you're seeing other kids being hugged and loved by their parents. So, I'm a therapist, but I don't have to get down into the deep childhood stuff to understand and to help my clients understand what's going on underneath the behavior that they're calling self-sabotage. But it's often, many times, based on the beliefs and the perceptions that we acquired when we were younger. And for the most part, they go on and guide us in a very unconscious way. I created a process called radar, and it's in our book, 50 Days to Your Best Life, that Dr. Joe and I co-authored. And what it is it's a process that you go through and you practice to develop the skill of emotional management and self-mastery and reflection and understanding. And what it stands for is it's RADAR. And the R and the A stands for recognize, assess, okay? D stands for deepen. The second A stands for accept, all right? And then finally, the last R is to reflect and revise. And, I'll film another video that explains how to go through that process, because it's really important. If any of you want to go through it, right now and begin practicing and understand what it involves and get a really good deep description of it, you can acquire a book very easily. But getting back to self-sabotage, it's a way of protecting ourselves. Okay, if we're operating from a belief system that was set up when we were younger and not very capable and not able to take care of ourselves in a way that we can now as adults with more skill, more resources, right? It makes sense. But we have to learn to recognize when we are in that space where we're limiting ourselves, where we start to feel heavy, where we start to feel kind of drawn and worn out. And when we start to think those thoughts like, I can't do this, I'm not capable of it, where we start to feel like we want to give up and not try anymore, those are the cues. Those are the signs that we can look for that say we are allowing that old limiting belief and perception to guide us in that situation. And oftentimes, guys, we implement this radar method. We recognize, we assess, okay? We deepen, right? We accept, and then we revise. We reflect and we revise, okay? That gets us to a place where we can slow down. We're able to pause, and we can minimize that reaction that's occurring in our brains that's going threat, 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 that gets us to the place where we feel like we need to protect ourselves. Because self-sabotage typically ends up in us behaving in a less than optimal way, in a way that is not aligned with our goals. So when we're talking like weight loss, weight maintenance, behaviors related to weight management, food specifically, self-sabotage is often related to overeating, binge eating, emotional eating, eating outside of the boundaries that we understand are aligned with our goals for achieving our healthiest bodies, right? So if we're engaging in those types of behaviors, we need to look at, okay, what are the beliefs that are guiding me? And now what are the signs that I'm allowing that belief to guide me? Because that recognition allows us then to counter it, right? It allows us to say, wait a second. That may have worked for me when I was 8, when I was 10, when I was 19 even, and just going into college and really making this massive transition, and it felt really uncertain. But I'm not there anymore. And this belief does not serve me. How would I respond if I were to allow my highest self to show up right now? My highest self that's aligned with my values, my principles, my true desires in life, how I want to contribute, okay? The energy that I want to manifest. It's not self-sabotage, guys. It's protection. But recognize that right here, right now, it's an illusion oftentimes that we need to protect ourselves. Even if we're uncomfortable, typically not uncomfortable regarding something that is actually going to harm us or kill us or present real danger, right? We're typically anxious or fearful or wanting to protect ourselves from things like speaking in public, meeting a deadline at work. That creates anxiety for a lot of people and leads to emotional eating. We've gotten in an argument with our partners and we don't feel comfortable or effective at knowing how to repair it. And that creates anxiety and a little bit of fear, discomfort. So we're protecting ourselves from things that do not pose a real threat, right? So I encourage you guys to begin looking at these behaviors that you call self-sabotage as something very different, as something protective, as something that is there for you, but allowing for a shift to occur with the understanding that you have more skill now. You don't need those old behaviors to move into, a greater plane of existence with your